try to go a little bit deep, try to get down an early Observer Ward, and already leveled up Glimpse, Templar Assassins moving over, and this should be a guaranteed kill, as the rest of VP can still sit at base, they can gather up the souls for no one, they can wonder just why it all went wrong for that first blood.
That's a lot of TPs out that we've seen at the start. That's way more than we see normally. I think like 5 heroes maybe were outside the base really quickly, trying to prevent those wards. But Solo did get one of the wards down. That's a very, very deep ward. I suppose he just wants to see what the Doom is up to. He does have that trusty Iron Talon.
Well, if they can watch his farm progression, that will be nice. At the same time, there's a nice Observer Ward down the bottom lane, which is just very defensive. Lets Nyx Assassin steal the bounty rune out from underneath Pasha as well as No One. Now, No One's not going to be happy about that unless he can get this kill. One more attack will do the work, but he doesn't have the movement speed. Thanks to the boots first, Boombax can just run himself away after stealing the rune.
Wow, that was very bold by him. He also forced Centaur to skill up a Hoof Stomp at level 1, so that's not the greatest start for VP at all.
So without having that return, without having that double edge, I'm wondering if he even wants to go into the lane, because it's the Timbersaw against the Centaur on that bot lane.
Yeah, that's a terrible matchup.
Seems to be great if you're in clutch gamer shoes. So you never really count him out. As Winter said, as Winter always predicts correctly on panels, clutch gamers are going to destroy them.
I like their draft a bit more than VP's. I think VP's is maybe a little bit too old school. Get with the times, man.
Well, VP did say, like, they did an interview with Valant recently, and they went out saying, like, we're just going to play our game. We don't really care about anyone else. Like, Lil himself admitted he doesn't even really know who Clutch is. And if you should even really care about it. So just a fun little thing for them that maybe Clutch, and this is why you always are scared of teams like Clutch. They can just take you by surprise. That Centaur's having a real rough time on bottom lane. He's actually back behind his own tier 1 tower now safely. Yeah, it's like Gabby was taking too much of a creep wave with only 1 point up in reactive armor.
He also has the Oov too, and we might see an early kill on bottom, but...
Very smart by Rappy. He actually got glimpsed away and then started his TP, but the first blood is going to be on bottom lane. So it's the Nyx Assassin with his stun into a whirling death from the Timbersaw. We said it was a bad matchup for the Centaur, and, well, it's completely proven. And the early rotations from Boombax, very successful.
I've seen a lot of matches versus Timber where you just ditch the lane at like level 5 and go jungle, but...
there's not enough life. Rappy unable to survive. He'll end up going down. Rooms will take a decent amount of damage from the tower, but it won't really matter. He still has a salve available.
It's still a really bad death for him up top, though.
Solo. Can he cliff him? Can he actually cliff him? Yeah, he's going to cliff him. Welcome to Raptor on a Hill. She ain't so clever of a girl.
Is that some song?
I don't know. We can make it a song. No. An ode to Solo.
I thought that
we got Fly Solo versus Solo. If only Solo could fly. What is he doing? Oh, he's actually putting down like a tree. Is he looking for the regeneration?
No, he tried to push himself out with the tree. That's very hard to do, though. Maybe with cogs? Possibly? Nope.
They're really attempting to get him off the hill without using the courier. It can fly now if they want to upgrade it. And that's what Disruptor is actually going to level up. There's a TP scroll coming on the courier. And we'll see if CG can keep the vision up. There goes your TP. Clockwork creates the space. But you still have to commit a fair chunk of time to saving your Disruptor from the hill.
Yeah, that was a lot of attention brought.
Took one Invis rune. That's what put him in that position in the first place.
Oh my god, this mid matchup.
Wait,
do you see the CS?
He's 3-1 against 21-38? Holy Hannah!
Well, a lot of those are probably from the cogs.
A lot of the denies at the start potentially would have been, but like, this is more lane dominance. Line him up, now Lil maybe in a little bit too far. Fly Solo, perfect movement in, pick him up, throw him back down into the Spy Carapace, hoping no one will attack harder. By a little bit of space for the CG mid to start playing catch up. 4-1 against 23-40. There's only so much of that can be cogs.
That's still a lot. I see normally like 9 or 10 souls, I think, at the start. Probably 10 souls, I think is closer. You rarely don't get max because you have to walk out to protect the bounty room somewhat. Even then, that's still ridiculous. That's, I think, the most lopsided mid-CS score I have ever seen.
That is pretty heavy one way. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, it's 11-1 against the 18-5. To be honest, I thought Pasha was going to have a rougher time with just getting CS, the ability to be zoned out by this Timbersaw. Just looked to be too easy. But Gabby's also pushed the issue very heavily under the tower and taken a lot of damage. Oh, and they pick him up, they throw him in, and, well, even underneath the tier 1 tower, you're not safe. And that's thanks to that very early Observer Ward they had planted down. CG knew exactly what they could get away with.
And they didn't mention that they didn't do that much research on Clutch, or that's what it made it seem like. Maybe like they weren't sure whether or not Doom was going to jungle or not, which would explain more why they had this Observer Ward down there, which hasn't done anything for them. Right now it sees Templar Assassin, but no one has really been using that jungle at all, so that was a completely wasted ward. And that's one that you would know not to put if you had done significant investment into. Winter would not have dropped that ward. Would you have, Winter?
We can ask him later. It does at least like keep an eye on, like, if you just think about the mid matchup, like no one versus Amel, like who gets the upper hand. If you believe no one's going to win that lane, if you're very confident with that, you look at the recovery mechanism for the Templar Assassin. At least that they kept check on with that Observer Ward.
Usually you stack Ancients though, because
is
Ancients
true.
are much better return for your time. It's very difficult to get that double stack off. And you normally don't want to be up in the area. I would say you want to play a little bit more forward so you can control the bounties and the power runes much easier.
Lil is just trying to check out, interrupt this Doombringer. It doesn't happen. Rappy's now up at level 5 for 6 minutes into the game, not too shabby.
Yeah,
and how's the Nyx Assassin looking? 3.5. Also not too bad. With the pull of the lane back now, they're going to get a little bit more experience into the CG lineup. So everything they kind of have is coming online apart from the Templar Assassin. She most definitely is. And a glimpse back up on top. Actually, Omni Slash has to be committed. Scorched Earth is giving him the movement speed, but not enough, and not enough health regeneration to survive the Blade Fury of Ramses, who now claims his 2nd kill.
This tempo is about what VP would like, though. The SF is very, very big, and the Shadow Fiend are very big. These two heroes are the ones that you need to make plays. Like, you don't have to have an early Clockwork 6 or an early Disruptor 6, as long as you have these two cores very, very far.
Speak of the SF, they're coming in. A 3-man gank onto the Shadow Fiend. The stuns being chained off. They still have the Spike Carabas, but no one's not going to turn around for that. Instead, it's just the damage. One more hit. He went down to 9 HP. Solo's got Fade Bolt in 2 seconds' time. Thanks to the Observer Ward, they'll see him up the hill. So that is a guaranteed kill for CG.
Well, now they know they have a ward. I was considering whether or not he would have just waited like half a second for them to get vision up the hill, just to give it away that they did not have one. He's in a
Top
lot
lane,
of trouble.
they're going to go again for the spin on top of Rappy. With that movement speed, he's trying to get around the tower ramp, taking a lot of damage. Solo can't finish the job. So the offlaners, they were both being prepared to gank. The other gank is coming in on bottom lane, where Pasha is back at his tier 2 tower. They just want to bring him in range for this. Telekinesis grab, pick him up. The stuns will connect. With the Chakram down, it's making it very difficult for Pasha just to get back the safety of his tier 2 tower. 3 attempted hoof stomps, but refusal at the gate every time the Centaur gets put down.
I did like the Spike Carapace proc on the return. That kind of sucks. That's something that you just can't play around as a Centaur at all. Sad times. Lane versus Timber, they get ganked multiple times.
Centaur's meant to be the counter as well. You talk about that counter against the Doom, who again is being initiated on. Ramsey's in for the spin. No Scorched Earth this time around. He just turns for 1 Infernal Blade attack onto Solo, who is dropping low but not low enough to die. He'll TP home into relative safety. Meanwhile, CG smoke ganking, and now they really did reveal that Observer Ward. Chakram down, quick whirling death. Lil will trap him inside the cogs, but it just means they stand around and kill the cogs off themselves.
They're pretty good about farming those cogs. Who would you rather been in this situation? The Centaur versus the Timber, or the TA versus the SF?
Well, you'd always go and be happier if you're the SF. The SF is going to be able to make more plays in this game.
No. The TA
Oh, you want to be the Templar Assassin or the Centaur?
Yeah, that's a tough call.
I take the Centaur. Like, you just hit level 6 and you're okay. Yeah, your life is going to be pretty hard, but it doesn't matter if you die that much. Templar
you
Assassin.
can just farm stacks, though.
That's true, but right now you got no momentum and those stacks aren't guaranteed. As long as you can reach Stampede, you've done your job for the team.
Wow, you think Centaur's a one-button wonder?
Speaking of Mr. Zeus right next to me, yeah?
He has like a 2-second cooldown spell. Centaur has like a, what, 5-second with double ledge. You gotta hit those hoof stomps.
You win the game by hitting R. It's not true. I have a lot more respect for you as a player.
It's not so easy, please. Wraith King's hard.
Top lane, Whirling Death. He goes for a quick chain, but that just means a glimpse back here for Solo. The Doom in the meantime, it is being committed as it was a reinforcement. It's the Clockwork trying to come in. So Gabby will turn his attention. If he can hit the Timber Chain, then Lil should end up dying. And Lil almost feels like bait, and they're taking it. They're chasing him down. The Chakram's going to miss. There's no Infernal Blade available. Lil actually tanks out the entire Doom, and with the Cogs creates more space. Gabby is not looking too well on mana. He has to use the Soul Ring, and now Fly Solo having to do the same thing. Omniscience, they try and tank it together. The second jump, lucky for Ramses. Bounce down inside the Rubik, and then the spin damage. Put into Rappy, a quick Infernal Blade with the Chakra. Ramses maybe in a little bit too deep. The Clockwork Rock is only a little bit of chip damage from Gabby. He's not testing it. He's holding his ground and not looking to fight, even with Lil with the battery assault moving behind him.
What a build coming out from Lil too, the double move speed.
Oh wait, okay, no one exploded his ultimate. He actually let the Requiem of Souls go and kill off the Nyx Assassin. Lil, body blocking up a little bit with Solo. Rampy now wants to try and turn, got the Infernal Blade. That damage should be enough to kill off Ramses. Gabby wants to go for more underneath the tower, a quick glimpse away, but Timber Chain's available, so Solo playing the exact line where Gabby cannot just chain him out, but if he's got the Chakram, it'll move up, gets one kill into the Disruptor, doesn't find the TPing out Lil, but a lot of kills coming the way here of CG.
The Timber Saw was a brilliant pick because their magic damage is quite terrible. SF is generally known for his right click, even though he can output a lot of magical damage. It's mostly for pushing out waves and Requiem later, but no one really goes to Yule's setup for Requiem, so you don't get like a full Requiem. But it's really hard for them to kill this Timber when he has 20 stacks of reactive. As we saw, he was just sitting under tower, just having a field day. They try to glimpse him back, still comes, and you can still like Timber Chain out of the glimpse too if you time it perfectly.
I'm wondering then, like, do we look towards the freedom that VP will have to do that damage? To either have, like, the high physical damage or get the magical out. But that gets blocked, right? You're still getting a lot of farm into the Nyx Assassin. We saw Nyx Assassin interrupting Pasha just through basic return.
It gets blocked if he has stacks up. If you can catch him, like, you know, when as soon as he TPs in without some stacks, or you take a fight away from the lane, or when he hasn't been showing for a bit, then it might be a good time for them to go. But when he has 20 just taking lane, yeah, that's a no-go.
This Disruptor really wants to fight. He's going to walk straight in front of the Tier 1 tower. So Solo and Lil, they put down an aggressive Observer Ward inside the Radiant jungle looking for the kill. Now pick up. Ramses charged up to the tree line. Disrupting Storm is down. Doesn't really have a lot of effect as Fly Solo will cop all of the Omni Slash and up to Gabby to try and tank and survive. He has the Hood of Defiance, so the Glimpse pulls him all the way back. I don't know if that Hood's really going to be enough to survive. Actually, he turns around with a Whirling Death. The damage, it's still way too much. Doom is out on top of the Centaur War Runner, but he's okay. The Healing Ward never got brought down. So the Centaur will survive, and Clutch Gamers really forcing the issue too heavily underneath that Tier 2 tower.
4 melee heroes and a TA trying to kill a Healing Ward. That's not going to end up well for you.
Nyx Assassin is stalking down Ramses. He needs help for this, however. There's no Dire Sentry Ward to reveal him, and in fact, okay, that'll reveal him when he steals the Bounty Rune, realizing that this isn't going to be a kill. But thanks to the Arcane Rune he grabbed beforehand, he'll have Vendetta back off cooldown very, very soon. And he managed to get Dire to burn a scan.
I think that was the correct call for him as opposed to wait to set up for a kill, because it would have taken them too long, I think, to TP to the top lane, because the wave was pretty far out from the tower. And even then, it's not a guaranteed kill versus Jug, because you get a quick spin out of the Vendetta combo, and they definitely would need the Vendetta hit to kill him. See, life of a TA, man.
Yeah, she just plays catch-up. Her net worth is now sitting at 5.4k, which is almost on par with the Timbersaw, only 200 behind it. The SF is obviously light years ahead, but thanks to this movement from Nyx Assassin, there's so much ganking. Lil misses his hook shot, now in comes Doom. A quick and funnel blaze, also got the Centaur Stomp available, which he can use to hold up Lil. The Stampede trying to disengage here, Virtus Pro. Requiem Assault's defensively used, another Timber Chain forward as Gabby looks for his target as everyone's going to spike for just a second under this tier 1 tower fight. But Solo looks like he's about to get wrecked. The only thing he can do is turn around and potentially storm for distance, for space creation.
He might as well.
He's got nothing to lose. He's got the mana for it. And, well, no, he's actually going to accept his own fate. 25 seconds down. Storm cooldown is 90 seconds. So maybe understandable if you want to try and fight after that.
Sad for VP that Lil wasn't able to connect on his hookshot. That would have interrupted the chain of events that started onto no one. But Clutch Gamer is finding a bit of momentum here. TA, I would say, is fully recovered now. She has her Blink Daggers looking to do some more. And you can see the problem of the Stampede, but I would say their heroes are pretty good versus it.
Boombacks. This is too easy when he's got a lot of help behind him. The Storm is down, but then again, partial Hoof Stomp on the Templar Assassin, Refraction, taking a lot of this, but he can't actually tank that, or can he? Into the tree lines? No. One charges and bottle charges, not enough to keep Armel alive. But Boombacks is ready to come back in again. He's got his Spine Carapace off cooldown in 2 seconds time, so starts with Vendetta hit, follows up to the Spike. And Solo will go down as they feed the Timbersaw. 8-1-2 on this Timbersaw. No Bloodstone build for him, instead he's going into Solar Crest after having the Hood of Defiance.
Solar Crest is very good here for multiple reasons. Firstly, it's just good for those two cores because they're almost all physical, and they have a lot of trouble dealing with evasion because you get MKB really late. And secondly, I think it will buff up the TA a lot because they can do Roche very, very soon, and even just casting on the TA. Like, for example, when she got Omni Slash right there, potentially it would have been able to save them. Like, Bloodstone is pretty decent, but it's more like a just all about you item. It doesn't really help your team do Roche. It helps you push out waves, I would say, is the biggest thing that the Bloodstone does. And then, of course, the respawn timer. But Medallion, if you're not worried about dying, why bother?
The hook shot from Lil was just too short. Trying to reach up to Boombacks. He was sitting right underneath the Dire Observer Ward that was mainly planted down by VP to look towards the pit to see this exact situation. He's talking about CG going in. But now VP potentially can get caught out. The back lines, I actually find Boombacks. He's got Spy Carapace in half a second. Now it's off cooldown. Stampede forward, but the control is too good from the Rubik. No, he can't get his cogs down in time, but it's no one. He's actually finding multiple kills. Lesser Requiem out. Rappy. Doom is off. It is on top of the Shadow Fiend, but really no one's done his job already. If he can just survive this, it will be enough. Farming up a couple of the cogs. There's more Timber Chains. Where it is, it's not really doing anywhere near enough damage to the heroes. And in fact, now it's all up to Gabby. A quick Timber Chain away. Lil, down to 57 HP, will retreat. They would love to get the Timbersaw down, but heroes are respawning, and that Shrine is still TPing to the Nyx Assassin. He's coming out. Timbersaw trying to bait them to hold him here. Timber Chain out. Here comes Nyx Assassin, going to look for the stun. The Observer and Sentry is down, but that Earth Spike will not reach Ramses. Quick one charges and then run away.
The Doom did not get off enough spells in that fight. If he had cast his Stomp first and into a Doom, and then maybe gotten like one more Infernal Blade off, perhaps they would have been able to take down the SF, but he got denied in the end. Ramses was able to slash him for that last hit.
Oh, you're right, he did. So really, anything of value, like not a lot of it was lost by Virtus Pro. Clutch still hold about a 2,000 net worth lead. It's 2K going experience-wise the way of Virtus Pro.
You still don't want to die for SF. It hurts SF way more so than other heroes because of the soul mechanism. But Juggernaut's getting nice and large.
Fly Solo is still looking for that small little controller. Okay, Boombacks found his target. Ramses will start up onto the Ancients. Actually, he backs up pretty quickly. He's under the cover of a sentry wall, but it's only going to last another 10 seconds.
They're trying to draw them towards the south side of the map because that's where they're smoking to.
The Observer Wall is getting dewatered. You don't want to be here, Fly Solo. Quick pickup. This doesn't actually get a follow-up stun because he didn't get to drag him back on top of Solo, and he stole double edge. No denial on that one. As, well, they don't want to fight. Stampede's actually being used to get Ramses underneath the tier 2 tower, looking for Ramses. Now, CG don't want to fight. The Templar Assassin is farming up the Ancients for the moment.
They wanted vision for the Glyphs. That's what they stampeded. They were really close to getting it on the Doom, but didn't quite get it in time.
Well, if they can kill off the Doombringer, maybe it would have changed their mind about Roshan. A quick double damage rune into no one. Can VP actually do Roshan, or is it too scary against the CG lineup?
Not 5-on-5 like that. I don't think either team can for some time. I think you just need like a few heroes dead, but straight 5-on-5, I don't think so. Especially not with Stampede down.
Well, CG seems to be more happy with this. They go back into their farming game. Remember that Doom is always a very efficient farmer, running both Devour and Hand of Midas on him. So he's sitting just over the 6k net worth, well ahead of the Centaur. Even if Centaur does have his Blink Dagger.
I expected the Doom to get the Solar Crest, because Doom has more armor issues. Maybe like a casual buckler might be pretty good for him. But
it seems like Rappy's just committing himself to getting the Doom off in the fights.
You need to survive. Doom's job is to tank. Timbersaw and Doom, I think they're just both there to cause havoc in the fight so that SF's life is miserable and so that TA can walk around and do a lot of damage. They have a trap inside, and with the double damage, it looks like they are going to start it off, but I think Clutch, they have to fight this.
Yeah, they know it too. The Templar Assassin's not there, however. She's got a TP scroll available, and will now use it to go to the tier 2 tower just in case there is closer vision, which right now there's not. In fact, the Observer Ward already got dewatered. They rocket for the vision, but a quick smoke up from CG means they can come in close. Lil is the closest one to the fight, and Dire, well, they do get Roshan, but the Templar Assassin snatches the Aegis the Immortal. They're caught inside the Storm of Solo, so the Aegis Immortal will trigger. Gabby will go down as well. Buyback, he's not actually going to commit it for now. In fact, it's all about getting the Templar Assassin out. It won't happen. Even with the stolen Stampede, they can't get enough distance, and Virtus Pro play the Roshan absolutely perfectly. While Roshan does have his Aegis Immortal snatch, they take the fight very cleanly.
That was looking fairly promising, but the problem is Tia is right in the middle. You had to have someone go in there, and he's the only one with a Blink Dagger, so he's the only one that could have possibly snatched it, given that situation.
Kind of surprising the Timbersaw was able to die so quickly, but that again can look towards Solar. Haven't really flagged the fact of how great a disruptor player he is, and the fact he is going up against the Timbersaw, the critical hero of CG.
Yeah, some nice synergy they have in between the disruptor and the clockwork, but yeah, that was just way too late from Clutch. They had all the information that they needed too. The trap inside the pit didn't die, I don't believe, for the whole entire fight.
No, it was there. Pasha giving up his life. No, blinks over. Goes right over the top of Boombox.
What a disaster.
It really is. CG were having such a good game. Like, they were holding around 2k net worth. They lost 4,000 was the result of that. Even the experience, they kept it close between themselves and Virtus Pro. That encroached more onto the 7k advantage now for Virtus Pro.
I think a lot of this is because of Doom playing too greedily. You mentioned that he went for the Midas, but TA's already having a hard time, and she had to spend a lot of time farming the Ancients, and then now you have this Doom who also just wants to farm. When are you actually going to fight? And with the Disruptor, with the Centaur, all these heroes that can get up in your face all the time, and the Clockwork especially, who can lock heroes down who are trying to split push, it's just not the pace that they're looking for. They want a slow, farm-oriented kind of game, but that's not happening at all.
Smart from Virtus Pro. One, they rocket behind the tower and see the small trap that CG were trying to prepare. And they also have an Observer and Sentry, so there's no way for the Nyx Assassin to just walk in and attack. It will be scouted out, but the Templar Assassin is coming in, so this will be our 5-on-5 engagement. There's a fresh Desolator over on her. The Rocket doesn't get the vision, but the double stun, it's nice, into the Omni Slash, bounces back to the Rubik, so Rubik will fall down, but the Storm from Solo perfectly isolating the rest of CG. They were locked in a box. And VP, well, they know the cat's dead.
That's such a difficult target to go on. Shadow Fiend has 2200 HP with Strange Threads, and he had Healing Ward behind him. How are you going to get to the Healing Ward? Like, you have to consider how you're going to kill the Healing Ward, or you got to burst him down with 2200 HP in about a couple of seconds, but neither of those happen. Perfect coke shot from Lil. Clutch gamers get annihilated at the T1.
Yeah.
Well, there goes all your momentum.
Yeah, this is the problem. This is probably one of the big reasons too why a lot of players, a lot of analysts would probably say VP will come out on top, because their teamfight positioning is just so good. They understand how they roll out with this lineup, and we can say it's a little bit of arrogance in some way that VP just want to play their own draft as like then they don't really care what anyone else plays. But when you see plays like this, you see maneuvering like this, you understand the reason why VP have such confidence. They have no one, as well as Ramses, in a perfectly farmed up position. And it's getting to a point where it's difficult to impossible for CG to take an engagement.
They're just hitting their timings correctly, and like they fought before these heroes got too strong, like before the TA was able to farm up and get the ages, before Doom has a couple of items after the mech. Like he has the drums now, but like his window's just been lost.
Perfect hook shot up. They make sure there's no reactions for the next assassin. Which is funny enough because the Sentry Ward, which is up there, yeah, they dropped the second one, they realize they're going to lose their Observer. They may have also dropped that looking for the Templar Assassin trap.
Yeah, they should maybe consider investing in a gem fairly soon. One for the next assassin and two for the TA traps. Maybe not feeling so confident without the Aegis under their belt, but they've still taken down a fair amount of observer wards, and still the train keeps rolling. This 5-man ball from VP.
Yep, they're looking really good now. Don't know if they're going to threaten high ground anytime soon. You've still got Scotty to be built up by no one. Ramses does have his Manta and Diffusal. And Centaur, if they do find kills, they'll probably go for it. But for the moment, CG are not obliging them. They're playing as defensive as possible. And the next Roshan, like his potential spawn timer is just over 3 minutes now.
I think they're playing very well as a team, though. They're not getting too separated from the Nyx, from the Doom. Like, these heroes do very well in team fights, but they do even better in gank situations. And they're only letting, like, the Juggernaut alone, or heroes that are, like, very close to the shrine. They're always having the Clockwork up out in front, so in case something terribly does go wrong, he will be the one to take the brunt of the gank. But this is how you play versus the Nyx Assassin. And they're also overcommitting on sentries, which I also think is very important. Like, Disruptor has not been playing greedily at all. No Arcanes, no Midas, just sentry wards. He's going into a Ghost Scepter as his first item to deal with the TA.
Solo playing the true 5. VP are coming down the middle. And we'll see if CG have any intention of fighting them. With the Blink Dagger on the Doombringer, they may consider it, but until the BKB is over in Armel, maybe not so much, but here they come. Timbersword's going to come in from the east. There's no dire observer that will instantly see him. But that's the reason why Lil's running this backline defender. He understands it can come from behind.
BKB, I don't agree with it, because I don't think he's going to be able to do much damage even with it.
The TA?
Yeah.
But without it, you're going to get caught inside the storm like you did before. And then there's no abilities to come off from the Templar Assassin.
I suppose. Ideally, someone else tanks it, though. Like, in this sort of situation where you have two large strength heroes like Timber and Doom, I don't think you necessarily need BKB. And if you do get BKB, you're really going to lack on damage.
Yeah.
Because you have, what, 2 Manta-style heroes that you don't, like, TA is just terrible at dealing with Manta style. The meld removal, meld debuff removal, and she doesn't do well with multiple targets that are like pretty close to on top of her. You can't side blade them down so easily. And it also gives multiple damage instances, so your refraction is just gone.
This could be a lot better for CG. They have an Observe Ward, so this time they can fight with vision and on their terms, but realizing that all of 5 players from Virtus Pro are on the way, they back out. They're already TPing themselves up to their own shrine on the north.
Yep, SF 3,000 HP now.
Just keep increasing it. Isn't that meant to help the Timbersaw, however?
Not really.
Eventually.
How does that help Timbersaw?
Yeah,
I mean,
it does.
Only if he's low HP, maybe. But I would say it hurts him more because Timbersaw is not going to get the lower percentage of HP because he has so much.
Oh, Gabby's going for his own BKB. He's got plate mail lined up, but then he's going to go for a BKB on the Timbersaw.
Another problem with BKB is like they don't have that much catch. You can just stampede away or cog and just run away, and there's not too much you can do about it. You're a clutch. Perfect chain stun with Nyx and Rubik, I suppose, but TA traps don't do anything. and Timber Slow also does nothing. They just don't have that many ways to keep him in place and actually take the fights that they want. Roshan gonna be next.
Yep. He's another 25 seconds away from spawning up. VP are ensuring there's no vision from Clutch Gamers inside by putting Sentry Ward in the front, getting rid of the traps. And they're getting some really good deep vision thanks to that Observer Ward that's right on top of Gabby and Armel.
So all Clutch Gamers need to do is doom one of the Manta heroes before they get Manta off. That's... sounds easy, kind of.
Oh, Boombox. He needs freedom. I don't think he's going to get it, however. The spin damage is going to be almost enough. It's just one last slice. And Ramses will find the kill.
It's a crit for good measure.
And double sentries down from Solo? I don't think you meant to plant down the sentry ward. Stampede forward. They found their target. It's going to be Fly Solo. The Rubik being caught out. So 2 heroes down. Rubik for 45 seconds. Roshan has just spawned up. But no one is approaching the mid, and they may believe this is enough of an opportunity. He's still got no hookshot for 40 seconds, however, and no Stampede.
It's just crazy how much damage Shadow Fiend does. He's sitting for like 300, and he just has like Lance, Manta, and Scotty. It's a lot of just HP items. He's really tanky, and he just dishes out a ton. You can't ignore this guy.
But they got no other choice but to, engage onto this?
Yeah, the thing is, even if you do him, he can still just right-click away. And they don't have that great of a way to just stun lock him down from the point where you would want to be able to burst him. Like, you just can't burst down Shadow Fiend at this point. That's excluding Healing Ward and Cog interference. Here they go.
Look at Pasha's position. He's ready to come around from the back, so they can potentially pincer in CG here. Virtus Pro, the Cogs from Lil, more of just a bit of a space creation. They don't have Omni Slash up just yet, Virtus Pro. That's another 13 seconds away. With the slow on Templar Assassin, the Doom is on the Centaur. Hookshot from Lil, tries to create space, but Fly Solo able to get that grab. Ramses and no one now synergize up together. They look for the kill. Templar Assassin can't hide, not under the cover of dust. And even the denial onto Pasha in the middle of this fight. Virtus Pro keeping their wits about them. They're understanding exactly how they win this. They give absolutely nothing to CG. Ramses would love the kill. He's got Omni Slash available. Gabby's on the run. But they don't even need to fight him. No Templar Assassin. They can force her buyback and push high ground.
Yeah, they have really good heroes to do so too. Ramses also went for a Lincoln, so he's just not going to get his Omni Slash stolen and not going to get doomed most of the time. And it's very important that he doesn't get doomed because he can heal other people up with Healing Ward. If SF gets doomed, that's completely okay, but Ramses dying to a Doom is far more likely and potentially far more devastating because they can't sustain a push at all.
The rest of VP are now spawning up. Still 20 seconds until the Templar Assassin is up, and CG really cannot allow her to buy back. They need to keep money on her, especially after building the BKB. You need damage output. And looks like she wants positioning too, a Hurricane Pike being her build. No one in the meantime protected by the Lincoln Sphere, so Doombringer can't initiate in. He does actually have the blink to the War Stomp, but they're accepting the fact they've lost their mid-racks. But Virtus Pro, you know they're not done. They've already taken out all the other tier 2 towers. You have the Aegis Immortal on top of no one. There's no reason why they can't just continue the push, apart from maybe mana issues on no one.
Yeah, I would say that's their only limiting factor, along with Aegis expiring, but that's still not another 3 minutes. I don't think Clutch is going to be able to avoid that at all.
Unless they try and go out and fight a full butterfly for no one.
Oh God.
It's coming out in the courier now. They are in a position where they could potentially gank him, and that's why Boombox, with this movement forward, it kind of has to work off. If he doesn't come in range of the sentry, he's just out of range of it for the moment.
He has Aegis though.
He does. But what else are you going to do?
Split push really hard. Really, really hard, Toby.
I don't know how hard they can be. This push is going to come in through the top. The Aegis Immortal is going to last just long enough. I guess got another 2 minutes and 10, 15 seconds on it. With a fresh butterfly onto the Shadow Fiend, this is more than enough to push high ground. And they realize that they have to wrap around and find a kill from behind, but Solo and Lil They read the maneuver perfectly. They break the smoke. Triple sentries are down as well as the Observer Ward. There is nowhere they can hide here. A quick Corpse Stomp not going to work. The Omnislash doesn't work as well as Lil. Hook shot in. Hold him in position. So the Doombringer will go down. Timber Chain's actually done some decent work. Not to mention the Whirling Death. The Stampede allows VP to just disengage and let no one start the kiting. With the Scuddy, they just can't move hard enough. Gabby is just having to Timber Chain himself around the fight, but he's running out of trees and he's running out of HP. He will fall. 5 players down, and Virtus Pro, that should seal the deal right there. GG it is. 33 minutes it took, and Virtus Pro take game 1 against Clutch.
We talked about no one being a dominant mid, and him having that sort of start against a TA just made TA's life so miserable. But I think most importantly is that VP